Hey folks, Paul here again. Thanks for joining me on my Edenismo YouTube channel. For most of you have realized that I haven't been putting out many videos lately. There's a pretty good reason for that. I've had some life happenings going on that have been slowing me down a little bit. This video is in relation to that, to sort of give you a little explanation of what's been going on and why. I don't usually post too many things about personal things going on in my life because that's not what the channel's about. But I thought this one would be a good opportunity to maybe sort of give you some information and maybe help some other people out there that are going through similar situations to what I'm going through. If any of you have been following my Instagram and Facebook also, you'll notice that recently I had a little adventure where I went out to Moab, Utah and did a tandem, actually 2 tandem base jumps off of a Mineral Bottom Canyon, which is an amazing experience, and I had the time of my life doing that. It was one of my bucket list items, but the real reason I decided to do it now was in celebration of a little completion that I just went through recently. Back in November, or actually it was December, I was diagnosed with kind of an advanced stage of prostate cancer. It was the aggressive kind that you really can't sort of just let go. A lot of prostate cancers you can sort of watch and see what happens and not really worry about them too much. Mine was a little bit more advanced and definitely needed to be taken care of. So the reason I'm doing this video is, in my own research, I found some treatment options that maybe other people might not be familiar with and may help them just to maybe give it an investigation and look into it for their own personal use. Once again, as a disclaimer, I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice of any kind. It's just giving you a little insight into my own personal experience, and maybe might help some other people out there in their investigation if you have a similar situation. First off, for anybody that's over 40, I strongly recommend that maybe you get a PSA blood test done at least once a year. It's covered by most insurances, very painless, just a quick little blood test. And PSA should be well under 1 for most normal, healthy people. If the PSA starts rising, the 2 things to look for: if it gets much over 4, that's kind of a warning sign. And if your last 2 times, if it's gone up a substantial amount in a year, that's another sign that maybe you need to get it looked into a little bit further. So in my case, mine was up over 5. It had been that way for a while, and I put it off longer than I should have, primarily when I found out it was high. Back then, the state of the art was not a very great processes. They basically just do blind biopsies, and they were not fun, and I didn't think it was something that I wanted to do. So I kind of put it off longer than I should have. But luckily now, there's some new testing and some new situations where you can actually make things a lot more advantageous to get it treated sooner than later. So if you see a PSA going up, the first thing you do is you can go to your urologist, and they can schedule you for a high definition MRI. Those MRIs now can actually look at your prostate, see if there's any tumors or any growths, and they can actually rate them from 1 to 5. It's called a PIRADS score. And in my case, I had a PIRADS 5, which was pretty much guaranteed it was cancer and more of the aggressive kind. So you don't want that number, but at least it's a way of non-invasive testing to see if you do actually have something growing there to sort of verify the PSA test. If you do get a positive MRI, the next step is to go for a prostate biopsy. The old kind, I said, was blind. They just stuck 12 needles in you, and it was not a fun situation, and they hope they hit the tumor. Now they can use these MRIs and CAT scan guidance to actually target the tumor. And so you're pretty much sure that you're going to get a sample of what you're trying to get a sample of. There's different types of biopsies. The old version was the kind that they, pardon my graphicness, but they went up through the rectum. Kind of painful. There's a lot of chance of infection. The new kind, which is what I went through now, is a perineal kind where they go in between the area from the rectum. And so you don't actually have to puncture the rectal areas. Less chance of infection, almost 0. Not quite as bad. And it's actually a much better way to do the biopsy. In my case, the next step when you get the biopsy back is they call it a Gleason score. And my Gleason score was 7, which is moderately aggressive. It gets a little more complicated than that, but I'll just give you the basic stuff now. So basically, in my case, with the MRI and the Gleason score, it showed that the cancer had been a little bit more advanced, had slightly penetrated the prostate cavity, so it was starting to spread, which once you get it to spread a lot, it could get more serious. And definitely something I needed to have taken care of sooner than later. The problem is that most cases, the doctors will either recommend surgery or regular radiation, which is X-ray radiation, which if anyone's gone through it or knows someone who has, it's kind of, it's almost like a shotgun effect for you trying to hit a small tumor and you're radiating large areas of your body and it's doing damage to everything in its path going in your body and going out. So although it was state of the art a while back, it's kind of now considered a little bit more overkill and it actually does more damage than it's really trying to help. So in doing my research, I found a technology that's actually been around for over 15 years. It's called proton beam therapy, which is another type of radiation. But instead of using photons or X-ray radiation, which is a large, like I said, like a shotgun blast, this is using protons. And the technology behind it is really amazing. Gee whiz stuff. They use large magnets to accelerate protons, and basically the proton, which is also radiation, basically does very little, if any, damage going in. It gets to the targeted point of the tumor, or in this case, your whole prostate, and it irradiates that. And then when it leaves your body, again, no problem going out. So your side effects are very minimal. The cure rates in this, cure rate is not a great word because in prostate cancer, you always have to keep monitoring it because there is a chance that it could come back and need to be retreated. But the success rates of what you're trying to accomplish are equal to all those other types of treatment and much less invasive, much less side effects. And I don't know why anybody wouldn't try that first. It's just an amazing, amazing technology. Luckily for me, I live in Florida. Not too far away, about a 4-hour drive, is UF Health in Jacksonville. They are world renowned for their proton therapy treatments. Dr. Nancy Mendenhall started the program over 16 years ago, and she has an amazing team of people and doctors and oncologists and radiologists that just do a wonderful job. Each case is totally individualized. They analyze a bunch of different parameters, and they come up with a plan for you about, sometimes, in my case, they had to do lymph nodes, and they did seminal vesicles, and pretty much a little bit more aggressive type of treatment. But each person is individually treated and diagnosed, and it can be anywhere from as short as a 4-week to, as in my case, it was an 8-week program where Monday through Friday, you go for probably a 20-minute session where they basically most of the time is getting you set up so that the protons go to the exact place they need to go. And then the actual treatment is only a minute or so of the actual proton treatment. But in my case, I just finished about 8 weeks of it. Pretty much almost no side effects to speak of. I feel great. We'll now just monitor my PSA for the next every 3 months, and hopefully as long as it keeps going down, it means that it was successful and we should be good to go for however long that takes. So in my case, the reason I'm doing this little video is because I know several other people that have gone through prostate cancer and hardly anyone knew of this treatment, and they've gone through other procedures, like I mentioned before, surgery or normal radiation, and unfortunately they have lifelong side effects and things that just make your quality of life much less. So I'm just hoping this little information will give somebody the chance to at least investigate it, make your own decision. I'm going to put a link down to UF Health Proton Therapy in Jacksonville. There are other centers. There's not very many because each one of these units costs over $100 million to build. So you can imagine that there's not too many places in the world that have these. UF Health is world renowned. They've been doing it as long or longer than anyone. They have the best people, and I highly, highly recommend. I would travel to them first just to check it out. They are just a really great, great organization. All you have to do, also put a little link. If you just contact them through email or phone call, within 2 days, you will have a FedEx package at your door explaining everything. You'll get 2 books which explain people that have gone through it, what they've done, how they made their choices, and why they've made their choices. And it's just a wealth of information that they send you for free just so you can have more education and make an informed decision about what treatment process that you want to go through. So I'll put a link to that in there. And again, it's UF Health Proton Therapy in Jacksonville. Not only do they do prostate cancer, they do all kinds of cancers. While I was there was people with brain tumors and breast tumors, and there's children and women and men and all kinds of people going through various types of cancer. And this is just an amazing, amazing option to treat the cancer with as little side effects and minimally invasive as possible. So if you know anyone with any type of cancer, not just prostate cancer, I strongly suggest you look into them, talk to them, just get an opinion. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a really great thing to do. So that's the real reason I'm doing this little video. That's kind of slowed me down a little bit as far as doing my travels on Edenismo. I will, right after this little introduction here, I have some more video and some photos of my base jumps in Moab, Utah. It was one of the best things I had ever done in my life. Tandem Base Moab is the company I used out there. Great people. They go the extra mile to make sure you have a great time. Super safe, super professional, very, very highly experienced skydivers, base jumpers, instructors. They really know their stuff. So if you're looking for a thrill, either to celebrate a milestone in your life or just to go click off a bucket list item, I highly recommend you check out Tandem Base Moab if you're out in Moab, Utah. They're just an amazing group of people. When you watch it was amazing. I had such a great time. It was a lot of fun. And I thought I'd share some of that with you, so hopefully you'll get a little thrill out of that. As far as Edenismo goes, and an update on that, I have one more major thing that I have to do. Unfortunately, the hardtop, which was carbon fiber and fiberglass on Edenismo, had a little defect from the factory, which caused some delamination and separation of the layers, and it had caused some cracking on the hardtop. They've tried to fix it a few different times with different methods, and finally they decided that, you know what, you just need a whole new hardtop. So in August, I'm taking Edenismo back to Fort Lauderdale. They got a hauler out, and they've got even as we speak, there's a brand new hardtop being shipped from Turkey today, being shipped to Fort Lauderdale. It's a big project. It's a huge hardtop. There's all kinds of electronics and antennas and wiring and all kinds of stuff in it. So when we get it to Fort Lauderdale, we're going to haul the boat out. It'll be on the hard for probably a month. We're getting cranes and dismantling the old hardtop, taking all the wiring out, putting the new one back on and putting it all back together. I may even throw on a Starlink satellite internet, because that's the one thing that Edenismo doesn't have. I've been waiting for the latest and greatest to come out, and I think they finally worked out the kinks in Starlink, so I'm going to probably put that on too while we're down there, and then she'll be ready to go. So hopefully by the end of August, the new hardtop will be on. She'll be good as new. I'll take care of any other small little problems or any kind of updates or maintenance that needs to be done while she's out of the water. And then she'll be ready to go. So hopefully, I'm still looking for that elusive first mate that wants to go travel around the Caribbean and around halfway around the world. So the search continues for that. If you know anybody, there's a finder's fee in there for you. Send her my way. But anyway, so as soon as I find a good crew that wants to come with me, get her in perfect condition, hopefully we'll be getting some videos like I've been promising you for years of traveling and having fun on Edenismo. So thanks for checking out this small little video. Please, if you know anyone with prostate cancer or any other types of cancers, please check out UF Health in Jacksonville. Great group of people. The proton beam therapy is something that you should definitely look into. I hope you like the rest of the video. Take a look at me jumping off mountains, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks. My adventure in Mineral Bottom Canyon started with about a 45-minute drive from downtown Moab to the actual jump site. It's a pretty nice drive, very beautiful scenery along the way. We picked Mineral Bottom because it was good for 2 jumps in a day and pretty easy to get back up for our second jump. I was joined by Ryan, who is the instructor that I was going to be strapped to during my jumps. He's got thousands of skydives, thousands of base jumps, and pretty much world-class instructor and a great guy to know. He was very professional, and I felt very confident having him with me to make sure that everything went well. His girlfriend Britt was also with us. She's also an accomplished diver and base jumper herself, and a pretty amazing woman in her own right. Max, the photographer, you won't see him here. He's behind the camera, but he was a great guy to talk to along the way also. The hike was pretty straightforward, pretty level. A couple of ledges that were hard to maneuver, and a couple of crevasses that we had to jump over. But all in all, it was a pretty easy hike up to the mountain, and definitely worth it once we got to see the view. Once we actually got to the jump site, I was blown away by the sheer beauty that surrounded me. I've seen many pictures before, and even some of the pictures that you'll see here just can't do it justice to actually being there in person. There was also an amazing quiet. You could hear your own thoughts while you were standing there. There wasn't a wind noise, not a bird chirping, nothing. It was just this beautiful, beautiful, picturesque scenery and dead calm that lets you capture it all in and have every thought in your mind just clear with no distractions. It was one of the most beautiful places I have ever been in the world. I had flown over it many times in my pilot career, but never been so close to it before, and there's nothing like standing on that ledge and seeing all the beautiful scenery around you. Once I reached the top of the jump site, it was time to walk over towards the edge and take it all in and see what I was really getting ready to do. Surprisingly, I wasn't as nervous as I thought I was going to be. I was just taking in the beauty of it all. The photographer Max gave me a little pre-jump interview to explain why I was there and why I was doing what I was doing. So I hope you get a little from that interview. Well, why I'm here is a good question, but I recently finished some 8 weeks of proton beam cancer treatment for prostate cancer, and I thought, what better way to celebrate than to go jump off a rock in Moab, Utah. So Instagram, which was reading my mind, started posting all these feeds of Moab base jumping, and it looked like a really great place. And so after I started doing some research, all the guys there seemed really cool, and I thought this is really something I have to do. So even if it wasn't for the proton beam therapy, I'd probably still be out here, maybe not just today, but just thought it'd be a great thing to try and maybe spread the word a little bit about what UF Health does out in Jacksonville with people who have different types of cancers.
And how are you feeling about jumping right now?
To be honest with you, right now, standing here talking to you, I feel fine. If you ask me when my toes are hanging off the rock, I'll probably feel a little different. It's one of those things where I've told everybody I'm doing it. I said I'm going to go do it, so I have to do it now. There's no turning back. It's already online, so I have to do it. So, but I actually feel great. I'm really looking forward to it.
Have you done anything like this before?
Not jumping off. This will be the craziest thing I've done. I was a pilot my whole life, so I've flown planes for many hours. I did powered paragliding, which way you strap a motor on your back and fly under chute for a while. So I did that for about a year, and that was fun. But I've never jumped this close to the ground, close to the rocks. So I think the rush of that will probably be better than anything I've ever done before. So.
Cool. And why'd you choose to do two of them?
Well, I think the first one, after I do this first jump, I have a feeling I'll probably be in shock. Right now I seem to have clear head, but I'm sure once you do it, it'll probably blank out for most of it. So I'm thinking the second jump, I may actually have a little more awareness of what I'm actually doing and may actually get a little bit more out of it. So I came all the way out here. I might as well at least do two. I probably want to do more, but we'll try to at least get two in.
Cool. First time in Moab?
Very first time. Love it. It's absolutely beautiful. And yeah, people are nice. I'm amazed at the quiet. If I would stop talking, you could hear a pin drop out here. It's just, I've never seen anything like it. It's just amazingly quiet. You can hear your own thoughts. It's beautiful. Really cool. So after taking in the beautiful scenery, it was time to get suited up and get some pre-jump instruction from Ryan. Basically, my job was to not panic, not throw him off balance, and basically just to count down from 5 and step off the mountain. Actually, it was a lot of fun, and it wasn't very complicated at all. Ryan is a great instructor, and I felt super confident in his abilities. Max gave me another little pre-interview right before I jumped just to see how I was feeling, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thanks.
How you feeling now?
Like I said, it's scaring me that I'm not scared, but I guess maybe once I get out there, I'll be. You guys are awesome. I feel like I'm in good hands, so I feel pretty good right now.
Cool.
So I don't want to embarrass myself in front of Britt. That's the real reason. You guys, I don't care if I embarrass myself. She'll tell all her friends, and I'll never get a date again. So.
Yeah, you do really good. We'll find a cute friend for you.
Now it's time for the actual jump. The first few slides you'll see here are just still photos of me stepping off the mountain, which just to give you an idea of what's happening as we go each step of the way. Then after that, I have a brief drone shot, which gives a really great perspective of how quick the fall is and how high the fall actually is. And then finally, you'll see a little 2-minute video that was taken from a 360-degree camera that I held in my hand during the jump, and that'll give my perspective on my way down.
Paul, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. How you feeling?
Oh, dude, I'm feeling so good. What do you think of this view?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah? Mineral Bottom Canyon?
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. You ready to base jump?
I'm ready.
Join me on 3. 5, 4,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Yeah, dude. Woohoo!
Oh,
Yeah, buddy.
that was
beautiful.
I wasn't expecting the drop to be quite so much. That was fucking amazing.
Oh, man, that was awesome. Oh, dude, how cool.
I'm glad I didn't let you down, man.
No, man, that was perfect.
That drop is actually longer than I thought.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be that long. It was actually pretty amazing. So, no, everybody, I'm not crazy. This is awesome. You should try it. This is your guy right here. He knows what he's doing. So,
something like that.
So we're gonna aim to land on top of the truck, right?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, the windshield.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Britt.
This is friggin' amazing.
Isn't it?
Friggin' amazing. I'm gonna practice my leg lifts here.
All right. Ready, set, feet up.
That's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be, man. It was actually
super chill. We just sit down in some sand.
That was actually not bad at all. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
Pop up, my man.
That was pretty cool. Thank you, brother.
Dude, how awesome was that?
That was awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That's pretty cool. Thanks for trusting me.
Yeah, dude. No worries.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. Let's do it again.
Okay.
That was pretty amazing.
We did squeak a little at the end, towards the end of the free fall. We got a little. I'm
not really a screamer, but I felt good.
Yeah.
I think that was the air coming out of my lungs. That was pretty cool. It was actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, dude. Good job.
I can't believe I just did that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Is that Britt?
Yeah.
The landing looked a lot harder than it actually is. It's pretty soft sand, and it's really kind of a non-event. Ryan is a very skilled instructor and base jumper. It's a pretty small landing area that you have to hit, and he made it look easy. That chute comes down pretty quick and not a lot of room to maneuver. I think the actual thing that impressed me the most was from the bottom, looking back up at where I jumped from. That's when you really get the perspective of just what I had done. Had so much fun, I got ready and did it again. Ryan had staged a vehicle down in the landing zone, so we hopped in, drove back up to the start of the hike, back for my second jump. The first was so much fun, I couldn't wait to do the second one. Max, the photographer, gave me a brief interview about how my first jump went and what I was contemplating for the second one. The first one was actually more surprising than I thought, because I actually remembered more than I thought I would. I thought when I jumped it would just be a total blur, but I think actually I could see what was happening. The free fall actually seemed longer than I thought it was going to be, and then the beauty of it is just you can't capture it. I've seen a million photos of this place, but until you see it in person, it doesn't do it justice. So it's the most perfect day. Little few clouds, not a breeze. Temperature's perfect. It's absolutely amazing. So I had an awesome time. So I'd be curious to see on the second one if I might do worse on the second one. I should probably quit while I'm ahead, but I'm actually looking forward to it. Maybe I'll remember even more that time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. What was the free fall like?
You know, it felt. I was telling Ryan before that
I actually thought I got more of a rush as far as my stomach and stuff from a roller coaster. And Ryan explained that's accelerating for a longer period of time. So this, as you step off, you are accelerating, but it's for such a short period of time. You don't really get to the speed that you would like even on like a roller coaster. So to be honest, it was fun, and I realized what I'm doing, but it was actually nicer because I didn't feel scared. It was more, wow, look at this. I'm almost flying for this second. Let me look at this the beauty around me. And it was actually pretty amazing. So everything from when the chute opened up, it was not too jarring. I was a little nervous about the landing from watching the videos. It looks like you land pretty hard on your butt when you land, but it's soft sand. It's really a non-event. And so it was all actually pretty good. So it was a lot better. Everything was good. So we'll see how the second one goes.
All right.
Here are a couple of still shots of my second jump, which was equally as much fun as the first. And also attached is the 360-degree camera that I was holding in my hand on the way down. That'll give you a really good perspective of what it's like to actually do a base jump in Moab, Utah.
We're out here, second jump.
We did so good on the first one. I hope I don't screw up the second one, but that's good.
All right, well, shall we start walking forward? All right. Beautiful. How are we feeling on the second jump? Does it feel different to you now?
You know, it's really weird. I think more apprehension on the second one. I don't know why, because I think the first one went so well, but I'm doing okay.
Nice, man. Well, you ready to base jump?
I'm ready.
All right, join me on 3, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, man. Woo!
How was that, brother?
I'm getting good at this. I like that jump.
Yeah, look at you now.
Let's do one more and I'll just stay up with you. Oh, man.
Look at this. Yeah,
Holy
buddy.
crap. That is fucking awesome. Woo. I don't remember being that close to the rocks before. Let's see.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
No showing off now.
I know I am.
That was awesome. I wonder what my face looked like when I did that. Big Brit down there.
All right. You said hit Brit? All right, let's get those feet up. Boom!
Nice job, man.
All right, let me get that hook. Coming in hot.
Brit is really very trusting, I can tell you that. Nice job, brother.
Thanks for clearing out this beautiful area
That was
for us.
awesome. It's a nice soft spot to land.
In a pile.
That's a good
Holy
job.
shit.
I have
Wow.
3 piles.
You're hired. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
That was actually really cool.
Yeah.
That was really...
Yeah, how did it feel?
You know, it really felt, it's one of those things, if I would have had more time to think about it, I get nervous. You're like, you ready? All right, well, let's do it. And then you don't have time to think about it. So it's like 3, 2, 1, and you just step off.
You think you were like able to take it in a little bit more?
I did. I mean, I actually really, I think, I really felt, I liked it. Yeah.
Cool.
It was, I could see what was going on. It's really cool. I could do that all friggin' day. It was really cool.
All right, load 3.
Yeah.
That was awesome, man.
I want to thank Ryan and Matt again from Tandem Base Moab for an amazing experience and a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Those guys are awesome. I hope this video has also brought a little attention to the cancer treatments, the proton beam treatments that UF Health in Jacksonville provides. Please check the links in the description below for both Tandem Base Moab and UF Health in Jacksonville. I think you'll find that they provide amazing services, and I hope you'll check it out. Thanks for watching, everyone, and check out new Edenismo adventures coming soon.